In all of the ways in which I move, whether it's at the new school or whether it's within Bronx Móvil, it's all connected. It's me as an activist, it's me as a harm reductionist, it's me as somebody who is striving for social justice and equity. When I am not at the new school, I am part of a collective called Bronx Móvil. This is a harm reduction collective that believes that in the city that never sleeps, New York City, harm reduction should be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So harm reduction, really quickly, is both a public health practice and a philosophy about empowerment and human rights for people who use drugs. What we do is we hit the streets late at night and on weekends when typical community-based organizations are closed. And we take water, meals, syringes, and other public health tools that help prevent hepatitis C, HIV/AIDS. In the Bronx specifically, where we work, where Bronx Móvil works, you have several pandemics, if you will, hitting. You have racism, you have poverty, you have the opioid overdose crisis, and all of a sudden you also had COVID-19. So Bronx Móvil was already active, operating on the streets. What we did is we expanded. And that was a hard decision. I think that the founders, Alexis del Rio Cumba, Nelson Gonzalez, and I did a risk assessment of sorts. We decided that our community really, really needed us at this time. So we incorporated occupational safety measures and we just went out. We went out every single weekend between the last one in April and June 30th. We provided vital services, the public health stuff that I just mentioned, but more than anything, we humanized, we triaged, we referred, we provided love, unconditional love. We were also able to connect with community-based organizations that do harm reduction. When I think of my work at the new school, both with Student Health Services, now in the Institute for Transformative Mentoring, working with federal messengers, and the work that I do with Bronx Móvil, with on-the-ground, street-based, bilingual harm reduction, it's all connected. It's all about realizing that as a human being, I have a responsibility to move in ways that are full of tenderness, love, and care within the city. So when COVID-19 hit, for me, it was super important within the Bronx Móvil movement and collective to go out there and be out there, literally, physically, holding space for folks who are living on the streets, who, when we were all told, go shelter at home, literally their homes were the street. That was where they were. If I can say that the pandemic has demonstrated anything, is that in the community, outside of those big political spheres, on the ground, in the Bronx, in Washington Heights, in my community of harm reductionists, there have been some amazing networks of mutual aid. People have mobilized from the early days, from March. People have really mobilized to support the most vulnerable among us. So that within Bronx Móvil, as soon as we decided that we were gonna hit the streets every single week, all of a sudden, we had support for the car rental. All of a sudden, we had boxes of cloth masks that were arriving anonymously through the mail, hundreds of them. We got donations of hand sanitizer, of PPE supplies for those of us doing the outreach, as well as for our participants. We started to receive weekly about 100 meal bags for every single time we went out on outreach. That's mutual aid. It is what happens on the ground, community-led by and for the community. It is solidarity in action. And that was a beautiful thing to experience during the hardest months of the pandemic.